when we talk about algebra, we often come across this term factorising. And what is factorising? Well, it's the opposite of expanding. So let's have a look at some examples of what we mean by that and what expanding and factorising are. In a previous bit of work, hopefully you remember, if you're asked to expand 3 outside of x plus 2, what it means is you're going to get rid of the brackets. I'm going to split it into 2 terms, so x and plus 2. Remember, every time I see a plus or a minus sign, it's the start of a new term. And then I'm going to take the 3 and one at a time, I'm going to multiply 3 by each of these terms. So I'm going to do the 3 times x, gets me 3x. Then I'm going to do the 3 times the plus 2. 3 times 2 gives me 6. They're both positives, so my answer will be a positive 6. And done. We've expanded it now. We've got rid of the brackets. Well, factorising is just simply the reverse of that. You start with an expression, in this case 3x plus 6, and when you factorise it, you get back to something like this with the brackets. Let's have a look at how we might factorise this same expression. The question I'm going to ask myself first is, what number fits into both terms? Now I'm going to split it here at each term, so there's a plus sign there, so that's a new term. I've got 3x and I've got a plus 6 are my terms. What number fits evenly into both of those? Now hopefully you can see that the number 3 fits in because I've got 3 here and 6 here. 3 is a factor of 6. So what happens is I'm going to take that number, the number that fits into both, I'm going to put it out the front of a set of brackets. I'm going to leave some space because we're going to put a couple of things back into the brackets. Now what goes into the brackets? Well, I'm going to ask myself the question, 3 times something will get me to 3x. What is that something? Well, it's an x, isn't it? 3 times x gets me back to 3x. Now I'm going to look at the next term, plus 6. 3 times what thing will give me 6? Well, hopefully you know that the answer will be a plus 2 because 3 times 2 gets me 6. And we're done. We've factorised that expression. And I can check, I know I got it right because the factorised expression is exactly what we had when we started before we expanded it. Okay, so I can check that by expanding. We'll do that with another example. Let's do this one here, in fact. Factorize 10x minus 4. So let's go through the steps. Right? What is a number that fits into both 10 and 4? Well, the number 2 does. It's a factor that is common to both of those. So I'm going to drag the 2 out the front and open up a set of brackets. Now 2 times something will give me this 10x. So 2 times, or 2 lots of 5x. So if I do 2 times 5x, I'll get 10x. What about this space here? 2 times something gets me negative 4. Now this one's a little bit harder. 2 times 2 gets me 4, but to get to negative 4, I have to do a negative number here, because a positive times a negative gives me a negative answer. 2 times 2 is 4. And so I've now factorized it. Okay, I'm going to check that I got my factorization right by reversing the process, just for the heck of it, just to expand it again and see if I get what I started with. Let's have a look. 2 times 5x gives me my 10x, and 2 times negative 2 gives me my negative 4, which is exactly what we started with. So I have successfully factorized the expression 10x take away 4. Good job, well done.